guys, and welcome back. Well, anyone who knows me knows how much I love holidays. I'm always trying to come up with different ideas for entertaining, decorating, and gift giving. Easter being a week away, I was trying to think to myself, what could I possibly come up with that's a little different, that I haven't done before, something I could actually learn and share with you guys. So I came up with the idea of hand painting on chocolate Easter eggs using cocoa butter pigments, a few supplies, some creativity, and a lot of patience. So I'm going to show you the steps in which I took to get this beautiful hand-painted Easter egg. I want to talk a little bit about how we're going to paint the Easter egg. These are blocks of cocoa butter, pure cocoa butter, and you can order this on Amazon very easily, and you get it, I think you get it by the pound or the half pound or quarter pound. It smells like chocolate. It's absolutely delicious. And what we're going to do is we're going to melt this, and we're going to use this as the base medium with our color to create our pigment. So the way that I do that is I use one of these small little plastic palettes, painter's palettes that you can get in any craft store. And what I do is I get a bowl, and I've simmered some water, and I simply place the palette on top of the bowl with little chips from the cocoa butter. It then melts, and then I use that as my medium with the pigment. The pigments I use are from Squire's Kitchen. It's the best product for adding color to chocolate and cocoa butter, especially when hand painting on cakes and cookies. I'm working with an 11-inch dark chocolate Easter egg. The first step is going to be transferring an image onto the surface of the egg. I found an image that I really liked and transferred it onto some tracing paper, making sure that the size and proportion was suitable for the size of my egg. And the way that I transfer the image onto the egg is by simply getting non-toxic chalk. I'm using white chalk. It's the type of chalk that little children would use, so obviously there's no concern about it being toxic. And I just rub off the back of the image on the tracing paper with the chalk. Once that's totally covered, I then carefully place the image onto the surface of the egg, and I make sure it's positioned in a correct spot, and I gently tape. I use masking tape. It actually works really well. I tape down the image, and I also cut little slits so that because the area is sort of rounded, it forms better, it lays better onto your egg. And I carefully and slowly use a very sharp pencil. This is a mechanical pencil with a 6H lead. 6H is a very hard lead. But again, very, very carefully, I trace over each line of the flower. Once you transfer the image completely onto the egg surface, you'll notice there's a definite outline of the flower and the leaves, but there's also this powdery residue. Don't worry about the powdery residue. Once we fill in all the leaves and the flower with the first coat of cocoa butter paint, we're going to then remove the powdery residue. So after transferring the image onto the egg surface with the chalk on the back of the tracing paper, I used my cocoa butter with some pigment, and I just whited out the entire area that I'm going to be painting. And then after the cocoa butter dries, I simply get a stiffer brush and I just brush away all the excess chalk. So I mixed my first color. I'm using this Squire Kitchen. This is just red, and I'm mixing it with some of the original white cocoa butter, and I created this like pinky, dusty pinky color. And what I'm doing is I'm just going in and mapping out all the shadows, wherever the shadows fall in between each petal. And it's a series of layers of color. So as you can see, I lightly blocked in all the different colors for the leaves, the flowers, leaving out as much detail as possible. I let it dry for a few minutes. It is butter, so it dries pretty quickly. You can also speed up the drying process if you just pop it into the refrigerator for a few minutes. So here I've added a little more shadow and a little more definition, working with the same color values as I originally laid down on the floral and on the leaves. The next step is to add highlights and details. The final product after adding the accents and the highlights, I'm really happy with the results. I think it's really, really beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video. For more decorating, baking, and gardening ideas, you can follow me on celebrate365.com, click the like button below, and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you next time.